Hey, hi guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Himanshu, currently a software engineer at a Pune based company. And today we are having this session how to prepare for HR and managerial rounds in placements.
Like recently, I have given around five different interviews, and I have got offer letters from three of those companies, right? So you can completely vouch for me, and I will definitely help you guys to navigate through whatever our current topic is regarding HR and managerial rounds, right? So here we are considering both on-campus and off-campus placements. First thing about which we are going to talk is what do they evaluate in HR and managerial rounds. So first of all, what is the difference between HR and managerial rounds? So these are pretty similar in terms of the context, but HR round is completely, they are like evaluating you based on how your communication is and how you are talking, how you are reacting to whatever they are saying. And in managerial round, there are these type of questions asked, like they are checking your communication, all that stuff. Along with that, they are doing a technical evaluation as well. So it is possible that in managerial rounds they can ask you certain coding questions as well, which are not typical, like certainly or typically asked in HR rounds. So this is a major difference. So it will happen that few companies, at like if they are coming on campus, so at first they will have their core technical interviews where they are completely like asking you to write the code and talking whole technical stuff. But later there will be certain set of companies which are having HR rounds and certain set of companies which are having managerial rounds. So you do have to understand the difference between them, and you do have to prepare for those rounds accordingly, right? Because if you have a managerial round, you will have to revise your all technical concepts as well, right? So this is the main difference. And what do they evaluate is they evaluate, as I told just now, they are checking your communication skills. They are looking at how confident you are overall, how overall a person you are, right? So they also like certain times they can even ask you your Instagram followers and all that stuff. So they are just checking that how much social person you are and how, like, if you will be a good fit to their company, right? So this is the most important thing. So moving ahead, let's move to the next slide. So what will they ask in HR rounds? So this is also in managerial rounds, but specifically we are talking about HR rounds. So first of all, projects. Like typically all the HR people, they don't understand the technical things much. I will say generally, there are people who are also very efficient in technical as well, HR people, or certain times it can happen that technical people are taking your HR round, right? So irrespective of who is taking your HR round, they will definitely ask you about projects, because projects is a thing about which you can talk a lot, right? And they will see your technical knowledge. They won't understand much generally. We can say that if they are not a techie person, so they won't understand very deep about what your project is and all. But what will they do is they will look at how you are communicating, how you are explaining things to them. If you are explaining the things in very complicated way, so it is possible that they will think that you are not clear with your project concepts, right? So you have to be very thorough in your explanation, give the most basic terms when you are explaining anything to them, rather it be projects or rather it be any sort of question they have asked. So you have to explain in very layman terms, and you have to start building up whatever you're talking. Like start from the most basic stuff and go to the complex thing. So make sure you do that. And once again, I will tell you that they generally don't understand technical things much. So you have to go to a lower level. You have to tell them in very basic language what your certain project is, right? So what you can do is you can actually separately prepare a little bit of what we can say, a little bit of speech or something, not speech, but a little bit of set of statements which you can say to HR people when they are asking about your projects. And make sure that you have minimum 3 projects in your resume. If you don't have work experience, your project should be 4 to 5. If you do have work experience, they should be minimum 3. And if possible, keep the projects diverse, right? So one project can be related to full stack, one project can be related to certain ML or something, because if the people know that okay, this guy has a lot of like diverse skills, so they will definitely have a good eye on you, right? But of course, it depends on you. If you have decided to do specialization in your engineering in only certain field, it's completely fine. But of course, if you have a very diverse knowledge, so you have a lot to talk about, right? So next one is puzzles. So in HR round, as I told you that they are looking at your cognitive skills, your analytical skills, your analytical thinking, problem solving skills. So all those things they are looking, and they will give you puzzles. So puzzles are like, for example, some they are very easy actually. So there is one what you can say, cake cutting puzzles, like in 3 slices of cake, by cutting 3 times, how can you make 8 different slices on a cake, sort of those questions. So these are some of the questions which they ask. There can be questions on permutation combination as well. So permutation combination is, if you think about the topic, you might think that the questions are very difficult, but it's not. I remember there was one question asked to me related to some handshake thing. So there are number of people, I think 50 people, and each one of people are doing handshakes to the other ones. Like first person will do handshakes with others. So there will be 49 handshakes, right? For the first person. So in total, how many handshakes will be there in the room? Number of handshakes. So these sort of permutation combination questions will be asked to you. That is also one very important topic. And these are some sort of puzzles. There can be complete the series sort of puzzles and all that stuff. So from where you can practice the puzzles is, there are two major sites. First one is Geeks for Geeks and second one is Interview Bit. So Geeks for Geeks has their own sort of roadmap or something, where they have like given lot of puzzles, and we have seen that the companies are directly asking questions or puzzles from the Geeks for Geeks side, right? So before any of your interview, you can definitely go through those puzzles, or if you have time currently in your spare time, like if you are traveling, if you are waiting for something in your college, like there is certain practical exam or something, and you are waiting for the stuff. So whenever you have a certain spare time, you can look at those puzzles. You can just read up the solutions, try to solve those questions, and definitely it will help you in the rounds, right? Because solving any single question from a pattern will definitely help you in solving any different question of the same pattern, right? So you just have to familiarize yourself with whatever different pattern puzzles are there. In GFG you can do that, and second side is interview bit. So in interview bit you can just note down these things. So there are again different puzzles. Then the third thing is aptitude. So they do ask aptitude, because as I told you, they are checking your analytical cognitive skills, they are checking your calculations and all that stuff. So they are just looking at how fast, how speedily you can do things, right? So in aptitude general, the top, like generally mostly they ask the topics of time and work, complete the series, pipe and session, and there is the other one is logical reasoning. Right, so time and work is asked mostly, and second one is that speed thing, right? Speed sort of question, speed, distance, and time. So that is also one topic which is mostly asked. Then in logical reasoning, there can be certain alphabet sort of stuff, like what is the next like they will give you a certain string ABCD and what is the next lexicographical string from this alphabet. So you have to tell them that, right? So that sort of questions which come in logical reasoning, they will definitely ask you those. There can be questions regarding patterns and all, right? So you have to make sure that when you are preparing for aptitude, you have to also keep in mind that these type of questions will be asked you in interview as well. So you have to prepare for them accordingly. And again, I will tell you that whenever they are asking you questions, whenever the HR is asking you questions related to these topics like puzzles and aptitude and all that stuff, and when you are solving those things, right? So you have to make sure that you make them understand whatever your solution is in a very basic language, right? So you have to do that. So these are some questions which are asked in HR rounds. And definitely, there are some other questions as well. So this was actually related to your different sort of skills, analytical, cognitive, and problem-solving skills and all. Now there are some typical HR questions which are asked. So here I've just shown the two of them. First one is where do you see yourself in next 5 years? Another one is what are your strengths and weaknesses, right? So you have to prepare these sort of questions pretty well and make sure like these sort of questions they give you a chance to shine in front of the interviewer because these are open-ended questions. You can speak whatever you want, right? So you can definitely impress the interviewer with these sort of questions. So make sure you prepare them separately. uh, you can find these sort of questions on YouTube. What can be the best solutions or like what can be the best answer for these questions? You don't have to copy, add your own mix into those answers, and definitely you can do better in these answers, right? So the second one is mostly asked, what are your strengths and weaknesses? And few people are even telling their strengths in their introduction as well. So here strengths it's fine. You can tell whatever your actual strengths are like confidence, communication skills, and all that stuff. But about weaknesses, make sure you tell your weakness in a way that it seems like a strength. Okay. So for example, one weakness can be that that you stick to the work a lot, right? So that like for example, you have been given certain task which you have to do, okay, and you it might be possible that it's the task is taking a lot of time, but your weakness is that you stick to the task too long, even if it's taking a lot of time, you don't go away from the task and just try to complete that task. So it is possible that it will take like generally it will take more time for you to complete the task than others, but you are definitely sticking to that one. So here, in general term, to summarize this, we can say that so at like certain times you are taking a little bit more time to do the task, but you are definitely sticking to that task and completing it, right? So we are converting this weakness to a strength. So there are a number of different statements you can use here. You can definitely look at a certain like these sort of statements which are available on internet as well. I will like just summarize whatever questions were asked to me. So first I can say about is aptitude. So I had been asked one time and speed distance. So it was very basic one. So they had given some time and distance and all that stuff, all those values, and they told to calculate the, I think it was related to acceleration or something. So that was one question which was asked. And yes, there is one point that you should know that how to convert kilometer per hour into meter per second and vice versa. Right, so that was one point in that question which we had to do. So there is one way, constant of 5 by 18 or something which you have to multiply that certain value. So make sure you do that as well. Then there were many other aptitude questions like coins one, if you know that we have 10 paise coins, 50 paise coins in certain ratio, then how many coins we will require to make certain amount, certain 2000 rupees or something. So these sort of questions are also asked. Then there was time and work questions regarding aptitude. So these were sort of quants questions. Then in LR1 there was one puzzle. So it was very simple question actually. Like as I remember, it was related to cube roots or something. So It was sort of complete the series of for cube roots. So aptitude is very simple in terms of HR rounds, we can say. Like HRs are just checking that if you can solve questions in while under pressure and if you are able to answer those questions quickly, right? So you have to make sure that your basics are strong in aptitude, and definitely aptitude won't leave you until you have got the offer letter, right? Because in HR round as well, there's aptitude. So make sure you practice it pretty thoroughly. You practice each and every topic, and especially the topics which I told you. They are like generally coming into the HR interviews, right? Then now, there are certain type of questions. A second set of open-ended questions. First one being that the previous slide where we talked about where do you see yourself in 5 years and all that stuff. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Then second set of questions are these are again open-ended questions, but these are a little bit to the technical side, little bit more to the cognitive thinking side. So there was one question asked to me that what better feature you will suggest that it should be integrated into the WhatsApp, right? So this was one question asked to me. So what I had said that time is this was back last year, right? So I am not sure if the feature currently is available. So in video calls, I said that we should have something like Google Meet where we can share screen and share the voice as well. So if there are certain group of people, 5 to 6 on a WhatsApp video call, and someone has to share something, they have to watch certain YouTube video together, so one can share the audio and video as well. So that was one feature which I had told them. I'm not sure if it's currently available, but back at that time it was not there in WhatsApp. Alright, so this is about the personal experience of HR rounds. Yeah, so I think that's it. These are the type of questions which are generally asked in HR rounds. And make sure that you go to YouTube and you do have a look at which are like, mostly asked questions in HR rounds. Like we had those previous two questions of weakness and strength and all that. So they are also providing you answers. Make sure you prepare the mostly asked questions so that you don't fumble during the time of interview, right? That is one important thing. All right, guys. So it was about the HR rounds and all that stuff. So if you are not following our YouTube channel, make sure you follow the YouTube channel because we are bringing up a lot of videos lately, and we are having upcoming podcast scheduled regarding number of companies which will be visiting your colleges on campus. So make sure you follow us on YouTube as well. And also, we are having a Instagram account where we are sharing updates regarding whatever sessions we are having and all that stuff. So make sure you follow us on Instagram as well. You can directly find DevCrusade on Instagram.